Oh yeah, big day for Philly. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
And the Flyers are playing.
That's when the double TV helps, right?
Flyers take a bath.
Yeah, well, probably. Hey, good evening. Welcome to the Stokastic.com NFL Live Before Lock Showdown edition. We got a fun one today. Yeah, 8:15 Thursday night to kick off week 6. And Ben Rasa is joining me for the first time this season, coming in out of the bullpen for Greg Ehrenberg. He said he had a call. What's he doing on a call? It's 7 o'clock at night.
I'm on all those calls with him, so I honestly mystery man. You know what?
I'm surprised you didn't say, "Wait, hey, can I get on that call?"
Seriously, but you know what? It was Eagles Giants. We got the New York Philly thing right here. What better time to hop on, talk a little showdown? I feel good.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, man.
It's a fun showdown. See. I actually like this.
Okay, Castellanos struck out swinging. That is zero surprise whatsoever. Now, there's a fun game. It's a very fun. The Cam Scatterboo price is a little bit wild, but I guess they had to do that in the event that you didn't have Tyrone Tracy today. You have guys like Grant Calcaterra who's out, but aside from that, there isn't like all that much injury news. I'll tell you the biggest piece of injury news, and you may not have heard this yet. You may have heard it already, Ben. Jalen Carter's out for the Eagles.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, that's
we already saw one of those this year, so okay. But that certainly helps if you're trying to attack up front, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I can't say it makes me feel great about any of it, even so, but there is that. So keep it in mind. You have a few inactives as well for the Giants. Nothing super notable. The Neighbors and then Darius Slayton thing is actually pretty big. But yeah, Jalen Carter being out is a pretty big deal. So let's get into this one. And if you haven't done so yet, take a single second this fine evening, atone for your sins. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys. It goes a long way. So we ask you for that kind favor in advance. And we'll dive into it, man. Here we go. So I got the Sims run. I got the top single game Showdown play tool pulled up as well. So we got everything at our disposal to put us in a good spot. We got 500 people watching with us out of the gate in the first couple of minutes. So appreciate you guys, everybody in chat. What's up? And let's do it. So usually like I'm in rotation with Greg and Spag. So this is fun. We'll get a different type of feel, different type of approach to a showdown slate from you. We actually did a few shows last year. So there's that. I will mention the other inactives as necessary throughout the show and anything that pops up. But Goody with a super chat. No need to be super chat etiquette here, Ben, because it's a showdown slate. If we dump the noise, i.e. Collins, Hyatt, Dotson, etc., filter by 3 dupes or less, and put exposure caps on Bellinger and other tight. You're giving me a real puzzle here. Put exposure caps on Bellinger and other tight ends while driving 60 miles per hour backwards on I-95. Now, we actually get good ROI with low duped lineups. Just play good players spot, DK 20 max. Okay, yeah. And by the way, Goody, appreciate you, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind tinkering with some filters on slates like this, Ben. Especially if you're getting good simmed ROI lineups, like I'm willing to do that stuff.
Oh, I'm definitely willing to do it. It's just play good players is tough when there's only one game. There's not that many good players, and you can't pay for all of them. So the way to do that most likely is we're gonna have to throw in either a cheap complete flyer, kickers and defense, things to at least loosen it up. Because if you're just going with the skill position players, quarterback routine, I certainly can't make that work tonight.
Yeah, you might run out of salary is what you're saying.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah, that could be a possibility. But
I get it.
There actually are angles to do it. And I'll pull the Sims up here as well. But I was actually looking at some of this earlier when I was building out lineups for the perfect lineup video that we have. And I did see actually a decent amount of lineups, Ben, that were kind of viable without going to the crazy low ones. So I kind of get what Goody's saying. Like, for example,
He just said in chat, which is a very interesting wrinkle to this.
Yeah, all right, Barkley, Goddard, Eagles, Giants, Elliott, Hurts. That's a nice lineup. Hurts, Goddard, Devonta Smith, Eagles. Say this guy's name. Jude. I pulled it up earlier today because I tried to get Spags to pronounce it. Can you try and pronounce this one? I'll zoom in for you.
Jude M. That
Jude,
guy?
Right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I say it.
Say it.
Jude. Hey, Jude.
No, come on, say
it. McAdamy?
Stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Who the hell is this guy? I mean, he's obviously their kicker. I've never heard of this guy in my life, though.
No, Mikatomne.
Wow.
Yeah, Mikatomne.
Show, and that's why I'm just a substitute.
Jude Mikatomne. I only know this because I looked it up on Pro Football Reference. My first, second, and third attempt were bad.
Academy.
Yeah, you know. But like Hurts, Goddard, Smith, Eagles, Mikatomne. If I didn't do Showdown shows, there's no point in my life where I'd ever learn to pronounce that name. Nothing.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then on top of that, though, Theo Johnson. So that's not a bet. Like some of these don't have those guys. There's a Bo Collins, Daniel Bellinger. There's a couple here. Cameron Latu. Like these guys with Calcaterra out. But then there also are lineups up here that are not Mikatomne captain. That's a wild one. But yeah, it does actually make a bit of sense, Goody. So I'm glad you brought that up. It's a fun way to kick the show off. Ben, we'll let me favorite some lineups here. What I want to do is I want to favorite 150 and run 2 uniques here. Okay. Right? I want to smooth exposure out at least a little bit and see what happens, because if we do that, it should give us a better idea of what we're working with here. You don't always need to just run it down the top 150. All right, so Jalen Hurts at captain. A lot of old Jude M here, although I enjoy saying Mikatomne. Jackson Dart at flex, totally understandable. Barkley, Elliott. The Scatterboo thing, and this is where I want to kick it off with you because I'm real conflicted in this spot. The absence of Jalen Carter, no doubt to me, makes a very, very significant difference here.
Yep.
What do you do with a 10K Scatterboo when Tyrone Tracy is 7K? Because I'm just thoroughly unconvinced. You guys do with this as you please. I'm telling you right now, I don't know the answer here. I'm just giving you my thoughts. I'm not convinced that Tracy comes back and just plays like second fiddle in an 80-20 Scatterboo Tracy timeshare. Before Tracy got hurt a few weeks ago, he was actually getting more work than Scatterboo in week 3, even though Scatterboo had more work than him in week 2. So I don't really know what to do with this spot, given that Scatterboo is more expensive than A.J. Brown today.
Yeah, it's really difficult with that price point. I mean, I don't think there's a clear-cut answer because, listen, you can get there and be overpriced. That is the thing. There's no doubt.
That's true.
You can get there. It's just your path is a little thinner. And there's no doubt to me that Scatterboo is overpriced given the situation with Tracy behind him now. Jalen Carter on the other side, that's obviously a positive going back in his direction, but I'm not really focused there. I think for me, there are just other guys on the outside that I'm going to focus to. And just to bring it back to Goody's point, because I really like what he did say, but one theme that I want to point out in those lineups, they were riddled with defense and kicker. It's really hard to avoid both of those things. If you're not going to go to those kind of guys that are getting some of the talk right now, you almost have to slide in a defense or a kicker to get some value.
You have to. I mean, you don't have to if you wanted to go to a Latu or like
a true punt option. Yep.
A true punt. Yeah. But in the same breath, like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have, let's say, Jalen Hyatt or Jahan Dotson, or the ones Goody mentioned, right? Like Bellinger, Collins, Hyatt, Dotson, or pay up like an extra 1,000 just to get to an Elliott, a little bit more than 1,000, or a Mikatomne, or even like an Eagles defense. Understandably, they're a little bit more expensive, But there's probably an argument to just, all right, if I'm not paying up to those guys in the 5K range, maybe I just full punt all the way down to like a Latu or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of that comes down to, obviously, with different lineups, you can do different things on how you think the game goes, because never say never, but most likely the defenses and kickers, their range of outcomes is a little more narrow. They're not going to get 0, and barring something ridiculous, they're not going to get like more than, I don't know, 12 to 15. That's, I think, pretty reasonable. Jaden Hyatt is the type of guy, I mean, I put him in my famous like Shaheed bucket. It only takes one, like he could have one catch and be
Hold on,
the optimal tonight. He's that type of player.
Did you see my tails parlay?
No, what? It bomb longest reception?
Oh, you didn't see this? Hold on.
I can go to I have tails up, so I can.
I'm gonna pull it up. It's insane. I love it. I know it's insane, but it might just be crazy enough to work, Ben. I went with reverse or negative correlation on Jalen Hyatt.
Oh.
I know you like that. You have to.
I know what you're talking about. What, under on receptions
and over on yards?
Yeah. That's the Hollywood Brown. Yeah, I've done that at times for sure.
Look at the odds. Look at the odds on this.
Yep. I can't see, but okay.
Plus 3,400.
Yeah, there it is. I mean,
I know it's insane, but also could Jalen Hyatt go out there and have one big reception? The answer is a resounding yes. Could he have 0 receptions? The answer also, yeah. But last week, without Neighbors, and now Slayton's out, Hyatt saw 3 targets, all 3 of them. So he averaged, you know what his A-dot was? 37 yards. 37 yards. You know how many of them he caught? 0. So yeah, these are very fun. You know what it was Stephen Leibowitz this morning who gave me the idea, because he asked me, he's like, what do you think of Hyatt over 12.5 longest reception? And I'm thinking like, well, if I'm going to do that, like if I'm going to bet an over on Hyatt, I'm not just betting over 12.5 longest reception or like 16.5 yards, right? Get yourself paid off if you're going to do something with a guy that might very well finish with 0, but could also see a deep shot for 50 yards.
No doubt. And the thing about that, it's overlooked, but it will add up at the end of life. If and / when he gets 0, you still save a bunch of money because you don't put the average unit size on that. Right. Over under 1.5 receptions. That's going to be a more important, monetary bet. So you are getting that equity as well. The only equity that you don't get is if he has a big game, and you just have to live with that. If he has 3 catches for 80 yards, that's just, you have to.
It is what it is. Then it is. You're right. Then it is what it is. But also, I still would have only won a unit. So it's not
what I mean. So it's just the way to start. I love that, for the record. I mean, and chat, I'm gonna be doing some tailing on the show today.
Wait, why don't you tail that? Why don't you bet that with me right now, man?
I'm going to. I don't have Bet365, so I have to go on my own here. But
there's other books with the new AI mapping. It pulls everything it sees here in the screenshot. You click tail pick.
Bring it up.
I mean, if you guys aren't on tails yet, I simply don't know.
Put it on the screen, Loughy.
What's that?
Put it on the screen if you can.
It is on the screen. No, did I not? Here, just the problem with this is it's not going to map the negative correlation is the problem. But I can tell you DraftKings has a 50% boost, and you can boost it to like plus 4,500. The problem is I was limited to $3 on the bet. You could boost that when I looked at plus 4,500 on FanDuel.
This is a good no sweat bet candidate. No sweats are flying. That FanDuel has one. This is the type of bet you can chalk up on a no sweat type wager.
I did kind of. I did 15. I did 25, but 10 of it was a safety net bet, so it's a $15 bet.
Yeah, that'll play. So now your odds are like you're getting like 60 to 1.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is. Oh, Ben's got hockey bets up too.
Oh, I got hockey. I got the jackpot tonight.
Who do you think? You got a Hyatt? You didn't. You buried the lead on me, dude. You have Hyatt, and
I like him a lot for that type of thing. I think for the jackpot, people are going to go to an Eagle naturally because they're very much more likely to score first. But I went with the Giant.
This is the jackpot.
Yeah. So
I'm
there's
gonna
a game
I'm
theory.
gonna tail this with you during this. I'm gonna tail this with you. Why not?
Again,
As if I don't have enough Jalen Hyatt bets today.
and when you get over there, give us a follow, please. We're building our followings on Tails. Totally
Yeah,
free
man.
to follow.
Link is down there for both
Yeah,
of us. It's so I'm having a lot of fun with it,
it's
man.
fun.
You look at captain too, and I'll be working on my lineups throughout this show as well. But Hurts and Barkley, it's hard for me to get away from Barkley. And yeah, I keep thinking about this. I said it on my betting video this morning, but it's like when you think about the Eagles, Barkley has not performed quite well. His longest rush is 17 yards on the season. I did bet his over 18 and a half longest. The Giants have allowed 5+ of 20 already. That's fourth most in the league. But he's faced, so Dallas, that was not the best. That one wasn't great for him because it's not a good matchup. But then Kansas City run defense, Rams run defense, who's proving to be very competent, Tampa Bay run defense, and then Denver's run defense. Like, he hasn't exactly had easy matchups, Ben. So I'm not saying anything you guys don't already know. I suppose I'm probably preaching to the choir given the ownership here. But I mean, how do I not, on a showdown slate and in betting wise, like, how do I not go back to Barkley here in this spot? I don't even care if it's against this former team at MetLife. I just hope that garbage field doesn't tear his ACL.
Yeah, that would not be good. Listen, sometimes I actually put this on Tails when I was putting in a bet on Saquon. I was saying sometimes the square narrative is also the correct side. And in this game, I actually think it is with Saquon in particular. I really do like the spot. His anytime touchdown is north of -150. He's got massive TD equity. I do think there's something to it that they're going to want to get him, of course, involved. And, let's also not bury the lead of we saw a lot of carnage last week. Like, the Eagles, they're a good team. They're going to be fine. This is a 7-point spread on the road divisional game. Like, you're not exactly like planning for anything else. They need Saquon to win this game. So I really don't mind paying the premium at captain. He'll be a popular captain, but I'm throwing the Denver game out. You take that out volume wise, I have zero concerns so far this year. He's going to be fine. They're going to be fine. All systems go for him. If I had to play one lineup tonight, he would be my captain.
Okay. I think I agree with you. Who would be your captain if you were playing two lineups and one of them was Barkley?
So I guess for me, my question is, how often do I want a giant at captain? And if I want one, who is it? Is it Wandale, who I think is clearly the guy that, to me, he's going to be involved. He has to be involved.
But it could also be like a 6 for 33 again.
That's where he seems like he's in your lineup. He doesn't kill you, but he doesn't make the lineup, but just a straight flex play. Do I go boom bust with like a Hyatt? Dart, we know it seems inevitable that he's going to be running. So could he get there in a non-efficiency game where you go like very obscure? You have Dart. You're not taking any weapons. I'm not going with the backfield. I'm certainly not planning on going with the defense. So it gets tricky fast because you almost end up right back where we started, which is, am I paying up for Hurts or Saquon? Like, those are very obvious targets, but it is difficult for me. I think I want to kind of ask you, he's not the forgotten man, but at the same time, AJ Brown has been very vocal. Devontae Smith is just around. He catches like a 30-yard pass here and there. He does his thing. I don't think he's going to be, just, again, looking at what we've got projected and whatnot, he doesn't jump off the page in any way. In fact, I think you could argue he's a little under-owned. Could he be that type of leverage captain?
Yes. Without question, man. I mean, I actually built a lineup out for the perfect lineup today, right? Okay. And in doing so, I built a lineup that was Devonta Smith with Goddard and Hurts with no AJ Brown, only because there's ways, oddly enough, to get exposure to the Eagles, like heavy exposure, without being super chalky. And Devonta, I asked Chris Spags this today, and I'll ask you the same thing. And I told him, I was like, it's almost rhetorical because I can never remember a time where this was the case. Do you ever remember a time, and the Eagles have been on a lot of showdown slates since they started doing these a handful of years back, right? do you ever remember a time where Devonta Smith was the same price as AJ Brown? I mean, in my mind, he's always like at least $1,000 cheaper.
Yeah, I mean it few and far between if it ever happened, I'll tell you that much. Like when I just think of them, I always think of AJ Brown is around flat 7 and Devonta Smith is like 58. Those are just like my static. That's what I picture
Like
them
on
at.
a main slate, you're saying?
On a main slate. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like
right.
he's always
Exactly.
in that, around 1,000 type difference. But I kind of like getting the leverage there potentially in terms of the ownership. And that's the type of thing I would explore. Just Marvin said, if a guy won't kill your lineup, but he won't win you either, why even bother with it in your lineup? Isn't the point upside in trying to win? We're not talking about a main slate though, so keep that in mind. Sometimes you don't have 6 players that all give you. Sometimes you need a guy who gives you 11 or 13. Like the raw points, there's just not that many on a main slate. Of course, that every single player in your lineup, you need a very healthy return. But there are many times on Showdown where a guy point per dollar is not that relevant, but he's still in the optimal just because of the product of the slate.
I mean, as a matter of fact, there have been times where guys have solo shipped Showdown slates with a 0.
Yeah, I mean, there are times when no $200 player gets any points, and that actually is the optimal move just to get the other 5 guys. That does happen.
Right. And obviously, like, we're not building with that in mind.
No.
But it happens. So, yeah, exactly. And the problem really is, like, with a Cam Scatterboo at 10K, what do you need from Cam Scatterboo tonight? Now, the answer to that question is going to be different when the game is over than it is now.
100%.
Because there's no real answer to it pre-flop, right? But, like, what would you feel comfortable with? A 10K is a lot, dude. When I'm paying 10K for a guy, I'm aiming for at least 20 even on a Showdown slate.
Oh, no doubt about it. And again, on a Showdown slate, the answer is impossible because it's like he could give you 24 and you're like, nice. If the big dogs have 33, forget it. It's just over because there is such an opportunity cost there. On the flip side, if this game ends 13-3, he could be the guy that you want and he has 16. Like, that's just the nature of it. And it's just all defense, kickers, an ugly game. Britton Cove, that guy's always in the optimal somehow. He's one of those guys.
Well, I just remember that game because it tore my heart out, man. That was the game for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was my season maker if Barkley made that
Packers, Niners? Who was it?
Falcons.
It's, of course, that makes even more sense. The Falcons would be involved.
Kirk Cousins drove him down the field because all Barkley had to do was catch that pass, and they had a first down, and it was over, and he just dropped it. And I
remember the play.
Yeah, I know you remember because I hit you up, and I was like, you won't believe what just happened, dude.
You don't forget those.
No, you do not. Giants starting kicker. Why don't you say his name, man? Come on.
The Academy?
Makatomne.
Mikatomne.
Yeah, no, okay. We're getting a lot of him. And I actually think that makes sense, especially with Jalen Carter out. Thoughts on Bo Collins? He's fine. Like, he is who he is. But at the same time, there's still a part of me, and I'll look at our flex exposures here. How much of them were we getting? We're getting 9%. We're getting 10% Bellinger, 12% Jalen Hyatt, 7% Granson. Cameron Lodger, we're getting 6%. I get that these guys probably will be more involved than either of the tight ends behind Dallas Goedert. And the reason they're showing up is because Calcaterra's out. But at the same time, Ben, like, if the 200 gets me what I need, I'm perfectly okay with going to those guys because, and even like a little Jordan Humphrey.
So that's what I was going to ask you. Elevated from the practice squad. We don't know. I mean, when you're playing someone at $200, you're probably going to get 0. That's just the nature of it. But if you don't, by definition, they're basically giving you a hell of a return on that $200. Now, it's not that they're doing their part. They're doing their part that's allowing whatever you spent your money on to have that opportunity. Like, you can't just get away with, well, he got me 4. And that's, a ridiculous return. That's 20x. Yeah, that's great. you need Saquon and Hurts and the big guys that you spent up to actually outscore the mid-range, or it doesn't even matter.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like he could get you 4, and if everyone you jammed as a result, it doesn't matter. Another thing too, when you're building lineups with these type of guys, just keep in mind that everyone else has the same idea you have, right? I know you know where I'm going with this, but like when you build a lineup with a $200 player, other people are thinking the same thing. Hey, if I play this guy, I can jam all of the studs. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't, and I would assume that some of our lineups are doing just that, and I'll pull them up right now. But I also wouldn't be surprised, Ben, if some of them are actually leaving salary on the table, because otherwise they're going to be massively duped.
And that is a strategy. Again, with Showdown, you can see crazy stuff. And this is why these tools are so useful. It's not just about the lineup, it's about trying to marginalize the dupes, because the equity, even if you have a great lineup, if you're duped you will see in the post-contest simulator the next day, those lineups grade out horribly. You need to try to minimize it. And a lot of times to do that, to your point, everyone pays $200. They funnel to the same build. If you can slightly leverage within that, you can be really unique, even within the cheapies. And that is actually how you get there sometimes.
Exactly. And if you look here, like Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, Eagles, Humphrey, minimum salary, Saquon Barkley, a lot of these lineups, I sorted by most duped. Lil Jordan Humphrey, Dart, Elliott, Goddard, Hurts, Barkley. So, and if you notice, the one thing about them that's in common with all of them, Ben, all of them are like $100 or $200 from being at the max 50K cap.
Yep. And almost all of them are Philly onslaughts.
Yep. Exactly.
And right. You're taking.
So it's essentially, let's play one of these guys to get a Philly onslaught.
Yep. You're punting the Giants completely to take all the money and take all the big names on the team that's favorite. And that's logically a fine strategy until you realize that everyone else is going to do that too. And it becomes very, very difficult, if not impossible, to leverage.
Exactly. Like here's a Granson one that sims out really well. It would be in the 150, but also leaves 800 on the table. That makes a lot of 800 on the table. Look, here's another one, right? Leaving 2,700 on the table. Is this any surprise to you? And I hadn't looked at these in advance. It's just, we've done these shows, we've played showdowns long enough to know that the lineups that are going to grade out the best when you're playing these cheap guys are not the ones that are taking up almost 50K of the cap, and at the same time, all just jamming Philly onslaughts to get a cheap guy in there. And a lot of people are just going to jam or play Granson and jam 4 other Eagles as well.
Absolutely. And again, that's where there are multiple ways to do it too. You just have to try to find there's nothing wrong with saying, I think Philly rolls them. If you want to build like that and Philly does roll them, that's going to be the build you want, but you're going to need more than that. Now, if you think that the Giants roll, you can, I'd say, cut it closer to 50K because you're naturally leveraging with a 5-1 Giants. Like if you do something like that or a 4-2 Giants, you're already thinning out the field. So you don't have as many lineups to leverage against. And that's something you'll even see when you're running these. It just shows up because naturally that's leverage.
Yep. If you were to build a lineup right now, right, just by hand,
building lineups right now. So
what are they looking like? I'm obviously not saying just give it all away, but like, what do you have a common theme in mind? Are you playing some like 4-2 Giants lineups? You know what I mean?
So the common thread right now, and it's not even by choice really, it's that I'm getting funneled to the kickers. They're just really making the build easy, honestly. That's just kind of where they grade out really well. They fit what I'm trying to do because again, on what I'm poking around with is paying up at captain. Now, if you punt with captain, if you go Hyatt or something like that, I think it becomes easier to build because you know what you're kind of doing with those other positions. But that right now is the theme, kickers and defense, which always feels uncomfortable. Obviously, I'm kind of hoping the game goes under. I think that would be best for me for Showdown. But that I think your boy, Nakatami or whatever this guy's name is.
Mikatame.
It sounds like whatever the building was in Die Hard. But Yeah, this guy is going to need to kick some field goals tonight. That's for sure.
You know, it's pretty crazy. If you favorite 150 and sort by 3 uniques within our Sims tool over on Stokastic, you can basically still get 150 lineups that are positively simmed. The reason that's crazy is because if you did that on Monday night in that Chiefs game, you wouldn't have gotten even close. But because you have so many obscure players on a slate like this, you're starting to see that like this one is a pretty unique lineup, man, or a pretty unique slate. It really is. And, you know, like you even go, if you were to do 2 uniques, a lot of times you wouldn't get anything all that crazy. But even on this one, you do. So, yeah, you're just going to have to make some weird decisions. And I think one of those is, as crazy as it sounds, if you're playing the cheap guys, you leave a little bit of salary on the table. Now, do you have to do that? No. Maybe you do what Goody says and you just like play good players. It's still very possible to build lineups that way. I'm not sure they'll be too duped if you do it the right way and you make more unique builds. How comfortable are you going to so like captains, right? Obviously you're fine with Hurts and with Barkley. You mentioned you're okay with Devonta Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you at on AJ Brown? Because we talk a lot about Barkley and captain. We talked about Smith. AJ Brown's also been, you know, the squeaky wheel. And this is a pretty soft matchup for him as well.
No doubt about it. And the thing I was a little surprised at this. If you would have told me as a casual observer, I'm no diehard Eagles fan, I'm not watching the games. What are the themes of the Eagles season? I would say, well, AJ Brown's not getting the ball. You know, he's super frustrated, he's not getting the ball at all. Okay, that was true at the beginning. The guy's got 27 targets in the last 3 games. He's got 35 targets in the last 4 games. Throw week 1 out, and none of that is true. Like, he's not producing maybe to the ceiling, but the guy is pretty busy.
So you're saying he's averaging over 8 targets per game over his last 4,
which is basically the whole season right now. So it's like,
right.
I think this narrative, I'm a little surprised. It's not like, man, he's been seeing, a couple targets and they're going to get him back to double digits. He's already been doing that. It's just been wildly inefficient. So I'm not saying listen, it's AJ Brown. He's an legitimate alpha out there and he can have a multi-touchdown game at any turn. But I don't think we're going to see some crazy shift in what they're doing with him. I expect him to be once again targeted pretty heavily like he's been. I don't think it's going to be anything different and he'll have his opportunities, but he doesn't stand out to me.
I think he probably stands out to me a little more than he does to you.
Yeah, I like Devonta Smith more than I like him.
Yeah, I get that. I look at captain ownership, and Devonta Smith is what, like 6? I think 6% here. Let me see.
Yeah,
Devonta Smith ownership at captain is okay. Oh, you know what? We updated these sims, so I'm gonna do you guys. I'll do us all a favor here. Ben, I'll rerun this in the background while we do this. I think it's probably important since we just updated a few minutes ago and see where we come in on that. I can't imagine a lot changed, but it's still helpful. Run it at 25,000 and see what comes up. But look, ultimately, both of those guys are super viable. The question that I come back to is like, both of them have upside. Brown had 1 big game. He had the 109 and a score because I laddered him that day.
And he hit our anytime touchdown parlay. Thank God.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Do you think there are some contrarian captain options without us going like fully leaving the reservation, right? Like, can we Dallas Goedert? I don't think Jackson Dart's crazy at all or anything like that. Are there spots that we can make work here that aren't let's call them big 4 or even big 5? Because I think Jackson Dart will be relatively popular as well.
Yeah, I would say that. So what I find interesting, I don't know how you'd classify him. I wonder where Wan'Dale's captain ownership will be. I don't think he'll be like even close to the top, but at the same time, after Hurts and Barkley, I think everybody's kind of in the next bucket.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's fair. But also, Brown and Smith are in the next bucket, but they're in a bucket that they could they're still in a bucket where it's like if one of them had 130 and 2, you wouldn't go, oh man, that's weird. You know, like that.
That's why I
Yes,
like
it's a
them
different
more than
bucket.
Wando.
Oh yeah, that's totally different. The thing about Brown and Smith, you talked about range of outcomes earlier with defense and kickers. The range of outcomes for guys like Brown and Smith are insane.
Yeah, they have like legitimately like get the bonus, multiple touchdowns, 10 catches, super games. And yes, of course, Wandell can be peppered with targets underneath and you rack up PPR and all that stuff. If you're playing on FanDuel, again, you can adjust that and whatnot. But I think for me, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to try to do it like this. Okay. Take out Dart. Who is my second favorite Giants captain? To me, that's the question to ask.
Honestly, dude, there's.
I think it's Hyatt.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's Daniel Bellinger. No,
Theo Johnson.
I think it's Scatterbill, even though he's overpriced. Hear me out. The absence of Jalen Carter is very significant, man. Like it's very significant. I know he's just one player, but
saw it in week 1.
I know
Javonte was living very well.
Dak even admitted after the game, he's like, yeah, we when Jalen got suspended or ejected, he's like, our game plan entirely changed. He admitted as much. He's like, our game plan changed entirely.
I mean, that is a tough. I will say, if you go to Scatterboo at captain, I would assume you're going to be pretty different right off the bat.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think people are going to do that because you're paying $15,000. You're really crushing your Saquon and Hurts exposure. You can get one of them for sure, but it gets really difficult very quickly.
So then here's my next question. If it's Scatterboo captain, or even like if it's Tyrone Tracy captain, right? We're getting 2% of him. We're still over the field. He's getting no captain. But let's say a Giants running back captain, then what does the build look like? Because I think you have to start thinking more, thinking differently if you're captaining one of those guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think you're kind of playing it out. Certainly the Giants defense, if you really want to make it an ugly game, I think unders would be in play. Type of game where that's where Wandell to me fits in, where you could go multiple Giants, no Dart, and then build some type of Eagles stack on the other side. Like one thing I like to do, particularly in the large fields, is have an underdog captain, but still the favorite team stack. So you have like a 4-2 Eagles, but one of the 2 Giants is your captain, actually.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because most people tend to say, oh, I like this team, so I'll take who I like the best on that team and put him at captain. But it's like, if you flip that a little and you have one of your 2 Giants as the captain and he takes all the Giants' production in the losing effort, now you're starting to build a weird story.
I actually do that a lot, but I want to do it with a guy who I think can have the ceiling, whose ceiling game is significant.
Or you need the game to devolve where
yes,
every point is extremely valuable.
Exactly. Right. You want it to be that Colts, Matt Ryan versus Broncos, Russell Wilson game from a handful of years ago where the dude took down a Millie, single shipped it with double defense and double kicker with a single bullet.
Yeah.
You remember
Someone's going to win tonight with triple kicker. They're just going to play Koo who was cut, and then I'm just going to self-exclude when that somehow. 3 kicker lineup, breaking new grounds on Showdown.
But you're right. It is doable that way. Like there's no reason that you have to play Cam Scatterboo at captain or any Giants at captain with like a 4-2 Giants build.
No.
Also,
definitely not.
Another thing, how many times have we seen games get out of hand where, like, let's say the Eagles go up early and then Cam Scatterboo, you're just using him as an example here, but you could use anybody. Cam Scatterboo ends up having like 7 receptions, Ben. Like, and garbage time come from behind mode actually activates optimal captain on a guy whose team lost by 17.
Happens all the time. Now, this specific situation I think is even more intricate because are we positive that that's Scatterbo?
That's the problem.
That is the problem.
That is without question the biggest problem I'm running into is what do you do now with if Scatterbo was 10K and Tyron Tracy was still out, Scatterbo would be a lot more popular than he is right now.
He'd be by far my favorite Giants captain.
It wouldn't even be a question.
Nope.
So will you play Tracy?
I will, but not at captain. I think he's more than playable, but I don't think it would take something bizarre, in my opinion, to get him through as the captain.
All right. Minnesota Dave, don't the Eagles give up a lot of and if you guys have questions, feel free to fire away. Don't the Eagles give up a lot of pass catches to their RB position, or is that not a big factor? It's something that's really tough to kind of evaluate this early in the season because, like, if you go up against the Ravens, right, you're not going to see a lot of that. And then you go up, I don't know, Ben, against the Eagles, who don't really target their running backs all that much. And then you go up against another team that doesn't target their running backs all that much in the passing game. It's like, oh, wow, this team through 5 weeks doesn't allow anything. If you went up against Christian McCaffrey and then Devon Achane, oh, wow, they gave up so many receptions to this opposing team. So all I'm saying is it can be a little bit murky there. And I typically don't even, unless there's just a massive outlier. But what I do I want to look at the matchups first. Like, I want to see who they've faced. So far, Eagles have allowed 21 receptions to opposing running backs on the season. That's like 20th or something. So, that's not a big difference there.
It's tough. And like, there's a lot of, good teams. They tend to give up a lot of that because the other teams are trailing, they're passing, they're playing in that mode a lot more. Like, so it's noisy. I don't tip my hand either way. I'm trading something like that straight up.
Yeah. As Sotex, I don't even know if I spelled deficiency right or not. You did not, but
it don't look right, but I don't know how to spell it either. So
he was only one letter off.
There's an E, right?
There's an E.
Yeah.
There's an E. Paul, here's a good one. Paul Ezeki. Theo Johnson and Bellinger got half of Dart's receptions.
Easy.
They did. What's odd to me here is, one, you have no Jalen Carter, but also, Ben, Zach Bond and Jahad Campbell, like, the Eagles used to be a sieve against tight ends. They're not anymore. Like, this team actually has some damn good players at the linebacker position. I mean, some really good players at the linebacker position. And they get Nakobe Dean back today as well.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are, we've seen Dart look their way, and that could certainly happen again. I'm fine with them. I don't think, like, Bellinger captain strikes me as a bridge too far. But if you're hunting for salary, and I'm clicking around with a few right now, and I'm in that low 3K range, I'm fine with that. I want to ask you one guy we didn't really talk about, and again, it's your account. So where do you put Dotson in all this?
That's a good question. Very good question. Where I put Dotson is in a similar bucket to Hyatt, except he's actually better than him. I saw somebody ripping on Jalen Hurts the other day. There's plenty of things to rip on him for. Ripping on his ability to throw deep balls is like the dumbest thing you could do. Jalen Hurts is a good deep ball thrower. He is. So Jahan Dotson is going to get those opportunities, and usually he'll get like one a game, 2 targets a game, 1 deep shot a game, Ben. He's just a guy. But we've actually seen Jahan Dotson win showdown contests before. Matter of fact, I think it was against the Washington Commanders in a showdown contest. It was. You know what? You'll remember this. Eagles Commanders showdown NFC championship game last year. Jahan Dotson was optimal in that game.
Well, I do remember that during the playoff runs, because those slates are the classic. I'm like, I just did this a couple weeks ago on Monday night, 2-game slate. I'm like, I have legitimately, it doesn't mean I'm going to win, but I have every base covered. So like, I know that even when someone scores, I'll be fine. And then I'm like, well, except Waller, obviously, but that'll never happen. And then just unlimited touchdowns to him. So yes, I want to make sure that I got that in there, because to me, Dotson belongs in the conversation. He's going to have opportunities. They obviously have more implied total touchdown equity. He is just as likely to have that type of game where a couple of targets and he happens to connect on a big one, and that's the low price guy you need.
No, it's a great call out because we've seen him do it before. And also, if this offense is firing on all cylinders, we haven't seen it yet. They have faced good defenses, but if they are, everyone can kind of get involved enough to the point where some of these cheap guys in Philly can sometimes end up being more valuable than onslaughting all the expensive guys, right? Because it isn't very often that you see the Eagles could score 40 points in a game. How often is it where just like everybody eats, the Buffalo Bills mentality? It's not that often.
No, it really isn't. And honestly, the Eagles there's a lot of fascinating teams. To me, they're one of the most fascinating because this is the way I look at them. It's actually a super condensed offense. It's just very odd because they have a situation where there's a vortex on the 1 yard line and all the points are isolated. Like you just don't really see that. But for so many other teams, when we talk about Showdown with the Chiefs or the Bills, we're rattling off legitimately 6 to 8 wide receivers. And we're saying, there are a multitude of guys that are going to see 1 or 2 targets. If you look at the snap counts for what the Eagles do, their dudes are out there, and that's pretty much it. They don't have that many guys that come from the clouds.
That's right. And not only that, they'll have certain games where they just lean heavily on a specific game plan. Like a game.
Like the Chiefs.
Yeah.
In the Chiefs game, they were in full control, and everyone was like, why don't they open it up? Well, they don't need to open it up. They are in full control.
Right. And there's also games where it's just give Barkley 30 carries. Or force feed AJ Brown. Perfect example of this is the second half of the Rams game. They're like, oh, wait a second. AJ Brown's facing a 5'10" corner and we can just pepper him with targets. It's exactly what they did. And they ended up winning that game.
And that is why, to kind of tie it back, more often than not, I think you're going to really consider an Eagle in the captain spot because what you're talking about is fully leveraging in one direction.
Yep.
When they commit to something, they overload it. And if you pick the right overload, that's probably the captain that you want.
Couldn't agree more. Hey, by the way, did I show you this? Pretty cool. And if you guys have questions, pepper us with some questions. So I had a guy, Ralph, tweet me yesterday. This is crazy. Got the Sims core for free after signing up for BetMGM. Submitted the first 4 and boom. Would have never built this lineup myself. Thank you, Stokastic. Dude, just, low stakes player takes down $400 using the link join Ben. Those are the type of things that make me exceptionally happy because I talk about this every day. And I say all the time, I'm like, look, does this mean that you're going to go in and immediately, have a big day, whether you're a low stakes player, mid stakes player, whatever it may be? No, of course not. Does it mean you're going to make better lineups and you're going to get them for free? Yeah, that's exactly what it means. That link in the description, guys, listen, place a bet during the game if you have to, right? Like you can literally just place a live bet because all you have to do is claim any of these offers, any of them, right? And there's some of these are really good offers too. Like that, let's not bury the lead. Whether you're in a non-legal betting state, you have all these pick 'em books. You have Onyx if you're in it, they're in 40 plus states. You have all of the sports books. Click claim offer, follow these 4 simple steps, and hit us up at support@stokastic.com after your first bet settles. Every one of these equals an entirely new month of The Sims. You could get the whole NFL season for free. You could tack on months of NBA Sims. Like there simply is no easier or more rational way to get access to these. And it's just awesome to see so many of these people that we have hitting us up and being like, yo, I did it and I'm crushing.
Yeah. I mean, we do a show on Tuesday and we had a bunch of people who were just talking about the same thing. And it's different stories. Like you said, let's not pretend, but it's people saying, now I don't have to worry about my process. I have these tools. I'm learning a lot. My lineups are getting better. And now I have opportunities. And a couple of those, not to mention, me, I'm a little biased. All these people are like, and I'm on tails, tailing your bets because I have all this bonus cash from the books, which is awesome to me. They're betting some parlays. They're getting exposure there. So listen, there's a lot of NFL football. NBA's here in 2 weeks. Be smart, set yourself up, take advantage. I say this to you every time, Loughy, and I promise I'm done. Even if we weren't offering the Sims with this, I would tell everyone to take advantage of these. You always want to take advantage of promos and boosts out there. We're now making it an extremely enticing offer because you're getting the DFS tools on top of it. But it's always good practice to look into these type of deals when they're available.
Damn right, man. And
That's
speaking
awesome.
of
Shout out to Ralph.
Speaking of tails and people who use the tools and have won millions of dollars with them in the past 2 months, our friend Morgan, he is up on tails. You should follow Morgan. Morgan actually has a Daniel Bellinger bet today as well. All of these are free. But that's right, man. Morgan is up and running on tails. Go follow him. It's just Morgan. You should do that. You should do that. I would highly suggest you do.
Yeah, you know why? Because his background picture has $1 million screenshot in it, which means he's been doing some good work lately.
All right. If you had to give me your favorite, bottom barrel, cellar dwelling, dumpster diving, gutter trash, $200 players, can you rank these guys for me between like Latu, Granson, those type of guys? Is there anyone that you think looks better, or do you just mix and match and spray and pray? Because I'll be honest, probably what I do on a slate like today.
Yeah, I mean, the real answer is spray and pray for me. It's really, really difficult to decipher any of these guys. I'm looking right now. I mean, so let me ask you this, because we're obviously more on the show. I haven't missed any news, correct, on little Jordan Humphrey? Like he's out there, correct?
As far as I see, he is active. Yep.
This is just the mentality that I take. When you're dealing with the unknown, you might as well go to the most unknown, because that technically should be the highest leverage spot. I think that if there was one complete rando to have a bigger game than expected, it would be him. And I think he's also the most likely to have no opportunities to do anything. And for me, that is where I would go.
Okay.
Because the Giants, I know we're assuming, but like Neighbors goes down. We didn't have a lot of time to react to that. Slayton goes down. We certainly haven't had time to react to that. Yep. We don't really know what they're going to do when you really think about it. The Eagles are a lot more settled in their offense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So this is just like play the unknown.
Because I don't think it's impossible that he's on the field for more than we anticipate for a team that it's not like they're like, well, Bo Collins, we can't pull him off the field. Like there's really interchangeable parts when we get down to it.
Yep.
Woo.
All right.
Look who's in chat.
Can't let Loughy climb the ladder alone. I'm out on $200 guys tonight when the 2K guys are so good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd say the 2-3K guys are so good, but I can understand what you're saying. I also I'm not convinced though, looking at this now. Like here, I'll do this for you. Just sort by lowest salary, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Singletary, Bellinger, Bo Collins, Jalen Hyatt, Jahan Dotson. Like, yeah, they're guys, and they'll probably get more opportunities than Granson. But like Lil Jordan Humphrey, Jalen Hyatt's not very good, by the way. Like we know that he's not good in the 2+ years he's played. It is actually possible that he cedes work to Jordan Humphrey, and they only have him out there on routes where he's just running go routes and they target him twice or something like that. I think similarly, the Eagles might just not target their tight ends behind Goddard at all today, and there's that. But like Bo Collins, his ADOT was 3 last game. So, and Jahan Dotson might have 1 target, in this game. So, yeah, I think they're better, and that's why they're priced higher. But I don't look at these guys as just like, wow, they're super underpriced. There's no way I'm getting to anyone in the 2K range. I should just defer to Morgan here. But at the same time, that's kind of where I stand on this. I'm going to have some Jalen Hyatt because Jalen Hyatt's capable of having a stupid game, where who knows? Maybe he has 2 big receptions. Maybe Quinyon Mitchell falls down, Ben. But he's probably going to need that.
Yeah, I just, for me, things can happen where a guy concede some work or, you mentioned the Eagles tight ends, but there is no scenario outside of injury where like all of a sudden they take Goddard's role. That's not going to happen on an established offense. There is a world with the Giants receiving core outside of Wandale where, to me, it is not set in stone with who ends up being the next domino. And that is why I'd rather attack that spot.
The word I like to use for this is ambiguity, right? Like there's a ton of ambiguity around the Eagles or the Giants pass catchers. Whereas with the Eagles, it's Barkley on the ground. Maybe Dylan gets a little bit of work. We actually seen him mixed in a decent amount lately, but not a lot, like one drive.
That would be stupid. That's something that could happen tonight. That would be dumb.
Yeah, that would suck. There's ambiguity and uncertainty in the backfield for the Giants even. Like the only thing we know. What's that?
When you're a bad team, you tend to have a lot of ambiguity because if you didn't, you would be a good team.
Right. So that's actually, it provides, I always use this phrase that I coined, like uncertainty breeds opportunity. And on a slate like today, it does. But that doesn't mean you go away from the top dogs either.
I don't think, chat, I think that's very suspicious.
What do you mean? Of course it does, man.
You didn't. I think that's like Einstein said that or something.
No, nope.
Yeah,
I coined it in
here on Stokastic.
If nothing else, I clearly coined it in the DFS realm.
Like I invented decimal backs. You coined.
No, you didn't.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah,
no, no, you did not, dude. No, you didn't. Chat.
No, someone in chat did that.
You had the idea, but you couldn't. You couldn't execute to completion.
Well, it happens, but I'm telling you, you didn't invent that saying or ambiguity.
Oh, hold on.
You didn't. That's all.
I didn't make up the word ambiguity.
You might. Well, this is why I need to be on these shows, just for vetting purposes.
No, this is not like there's some people who have said it in here, like random blogs and stuff, but they probably watched me on a show.
That's good. I'm glad you didn't take it one step further that you're the only human to organize those words in that string. Like I say that all the time. Like I think I just said a unique sentence, but other people have said that. Can you play Eagles defense as captain? I definitely think you can do that.
Particularly, I have a bunch of it.
Dart against the Saints. I know everyone was, New Orleans was better. Dart also there was a lot of mess with the Giants turnover. So that's fine.
I have some Eagles at captain for sure. Yep. I'll tell you right now.
I'll tell you right now. It's very impressive for you. I struggled. Like I played less lineups because I was on the show. It's impressive that you can build on these.
I'm getting better at it.
I'm not good at that.
At first, it was tough. It still is
sweating out these hockey games. There's a lot going on in the betting world right now.
You know what I like to do for these? I'll throw like 5 or 10 in the lotto, and then I'll throw like 20 in the first down, and then I'll max the mini max or something. So like if I screw up, I'm not.
It's marginalized. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Like my main. I don't know how Eric and Spags do it on the main slate live before lock. Like I would refuse to do that show if we're.
I scramble and we're on.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sweating it, and it's 90 minutes till it locks.
Right, we get done, and it's I know.
It's very disturbing.
Guitar Z, man, you're the man, dude. Appreciate you always hanging out. Thanks, Ben Loughy. Stellar content as always. Appreciate you. Appreciate you too, man. Thanks to all of you guys. Yo, link in the description if you want to get the Sims for free. Using those links. Be like Ralph, who just, popped into BetMGM, placed a bet, boom. And as always, follow us over at Tails. Follow Morgan over there as well. Brand new. He's got like 150 followers in the first day, so that's pretty sweet. You like to see the growth over there.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys, everyone. I know I crashed the party tonight, but it was a lot of fun. And of course, I'll see you guys over on Tails. But thanks again for letting me sub in.
Yeah, man, this was great. Go Birds. See you guys back here tomorrow. Close out the work week, head into Sunday with the Sims Strategy Show. You got content tomorrow?
Oh, whew, college football, baby.
There you
Big
go.
time Saturday slate. There are Friday games too. I will have bets. I will have breakdowns, all available over on OddsShopper. So yeah, busy day for me.
Beautiful. See you guys soon. Good luck tonight. Bye-bye.